Welcome to today's discussion. I'm Gosai Faisal. Today we will discuss the recent official visit by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to France and Italy. This visit is about strengthening Ethiopia's cooperation with respective countries in Europe. In France, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed met with Emmanuel Macron, President of France, and they discussed various issues of common interest, especially in the areas of economy, technology, cultural heritage, and other issues among others. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed also met with Giorgia Meloni, and they discussed on various issues, especially in the education, healthcare, and others. The Premier also met with Pope Leo XIV, and they discussed on peace and shared global values. To explore the outcomes and the future implications of this visit, I am joined by my colleagues, journalist Getnesh Shankute and journalist Girma Mergisa. Together we will take a closer look at what this visit signifies for Ethiopia's diplomatic engagement, economic aspiration, and the digital future, as well as their broader implication for the Horn of Africa and beyond. My first question goes to Getnet. What are the biggest takeaways or benefits Ethiopia has gained from these two important visits?
Thank you so much, Gosai. As you said earlier, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, accompanied by First Ladies Nastayacho and other Ethiopian high-level government officials, he had paid an official visit to the European countries. During his visit, first Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed began in Paris, France, and the Prime Minister instantly arrived in France. He visited one of the historical sites. The Prime Minister also visited high-tech companies in France, which is especially engaged in AI technologies as well as startups. Also, during his visit in Paris, he met with Emmanuel Macron and discussed lots of issues, especially in a way of consolidate bilateral relationship between Ethiopia and France. And also they address so many issues in a way that the two countries will explore another avenue for future cooperation. The two countries have a long-standing relationship, and also in recent time, Ethiopia, under the leadership of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Emmanuel Macron, French president, had paid a visit to Ethiopia, and the French government has extended so many supporters, financial supporters, and encouraged Ethiopian development. As you remember, when Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came to power, French president came in Ethiopia and visited Lalibela. He pledged at that site to support the Ethiopian historical renovation efforts, especially Lalibela, as well as it's a very short time memory. Last December, at the end of 2024, Emmanuel Macron was also in Ethiopia at the time of when Ethiopia prepared to inaugurate the National Palace, which French was actually helpful, very supportive to renovate the National Palace, recently opened for visits for domestic and international tourists. And then when Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his delegation concluded his visit, and he left for Rome, Italy, and met his counterpart, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, the two leaders discussed lots of issues, especially to strengthen their relationship in major areas like education, science and technology, and other areas. So in general, when we evaluate, when we explore the visit of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, it's a high-level visit. It is really gives a great impetus and also a great signature for Africa as well as Ethiopia as the second populous nation, and which has a great role in the Horn of Africa. That shows Ethiopia's influence and Ethiopia's commitment, as well as its endeavor for development and expanding multilateralism is increasing from time to time, and many Western nations, including France and Italy, have a desire to strengthen the cooperation with this East African nation.
Let me move to Girma. And what was the main points of discussion between Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and European leaders in relation with enhancing, further deepening Ethiopia's relationship with those respective countries?
Thank you so much, Gusai. As my colleagues Getnet mentioned that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has discussion with the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, as well as Prime Minister of Italy, Meloni, on various issues. Particularly, the discussion focused on how to implement the agreement reached between the two leaders while the Macron visit Ethiopia December 2024. And also, the two leaders discussed on issues of strengthening more economic cooperation as well as other area of cooperation like as peace and security as well as cultural cooperation between the two countries. And also, during their stay in France, Prime Minister also discussed with Macron on issues of debt restructuring between Ethiopia as France, one of the strong supporters of Ethiopian efforts in debt restructuring, because Ethiopia need more strong and more sustainable economic growth as well as economic stability in the country. So this debt restructuring is very important for Ethiopia to ensure this economic development. They also discussed on issues of technology and innovation. Particularly, the Prime Minister visit various institutions like Station F, Nokia, as well as TELUS during his stay in France. This is very important for Ethiopia as a nation focused on transforming digital sectors in the country. For example, when you take Ethiopia as embarking on the implementation of Digital 2025, which is very important for Ethiopia to make smooth or to make business very smart in Ethiopia. So this is very important visit by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, and it's very timely visit because Ethiopia can learn and can take money, experience and knowledge in areas of technology and innovation as well as artificial intelligence.
What does this visit signify for Ethiopia's diplomatic engagement?
Ethiopia is a big nation in terms of many criteria in Africa, in terms of diplomacy, and in terms of history, and in terms of its role, especially in the Horn of Africa, to fight against terrorism and also other challenges in the region in general. So the visit for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to Europe is it has a lot of precedents that how the country is really important nation for Western countries, not only Western countries, for those countries and institutions, international institutions who want to cooperate in Africa. Ethiopia is among it in many ways. To add another issue, Ethiopia's foreign diplomacy is always emanates from multilateralism and prioritize regional integration, especially give a great attention for neighboring countries, and also through process expand its relation with all corners of the world. And also the country has a great role in the UN and insisting for a structure of international organizations that become inclusive and promote multilateralism. So the recent Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed will give lots of things how Ethiopia is now in modern time also consolidating its role as a great player in African diplomacy.
Do you have something you want to add, Girma?
Yes.
Regarding to this?
Particularly when we see an economic perspective, this visit is very important for Ethiopia. As we know, the government of Ethiopia has been undertaking various reforms, particularly in economic area, as well as to increase foreign direct investment in the country. So this visit is very important, particularly for Ethiopia, to access foreign investment who want to invest in Ethiopia in various sectors. When we see the government has made various decisions in different areas to attract more foreign direct investment. For example, like us in finance sector and also in other areas to explore giant investment who want to invest in Ethiopia. As Gatenet mentioned that particularly in area of innovation and technology, Ethiopia has ambitions to be the hub of tech in Africa in future, when we see there are also various activities have been undertaken in Ethiopia. So when we see his visit in France, this is very good opportunity for us to take some lesson. We need more infrastructure. We need more experience to more uphold our innovation and the technology effort in the country.
Another issue maybe regarding to this topic is Ethiopia has been working on reforms over the last 7 years, especially in the economic sector. So how Ethiopia's regulatory system, the investment opportunity here in Ethiopia in terms of maybe incentives, how these all things are important in terms of attracting European companies to Ethiopia to invest or to seize investment opportunities here?
Yeah, that's a good question, Gosai. So, as we said previously, so Ethiopia has embarked on a far-reaching reform, not only in economy, actually, in politics, and foreign policy, and education, and in many areas. The country has accelerating reform, especially since the last 6 or 7 years. So when we talk about economy, especially foreign direct investment, the country has reformed its policy, which previously was not comfortable, conducive for foreign investors. There were lots of bureaucracies that would probably resulted that foreign companies hesitate to invest in Ethiopia. But the country in recent time, improved proclamations, creates conducive areas for investors, not only for foreign investors, but domestic investors. So in recent time, Ethiopia has been setting a way to lead and to become the hub of the manufacturing center, especially in light manufacturing areas like textile, as well as heavy manufacturing areas like steel and other areas. So by itself, the reform is attracting tremendous organizations, companies from Western countries, from China, even from Middle East, and many countries. So Ethiopia is creating a conducive area, first of all, in the country. And this visit, the Prime Minister's visit, especially a good opportunity for Western countries, especially technology companies, to attract Ethiopia to invest in various areas. Because when you take the Western countries, by far they have better technology and high-tech manufacturers. So that would help Ethiopia, if these companies invest in Ethiopia, to accelerate the manufacturing sector and achieve its aspiration to become the hub of manufacturing area. Ethiopia is just opening up this sector for foreign companies, for foreign bank industries to come here and create a competition that would improve the financial sector and also in other areas. So this is a very important aspect for Ethiopia to attract foreign investors, and the Prime Minister's visit is very crucial, I would say.
For Gurma, maybe with perspective of Ethiopia's foreign policy or shifting traditional one to the modern one, what is your reflection on this?
Thank you so much. As we know, Ethiopia holds unique and strategic position in global diplomacy. Particularly, Ethiopia is one of the second most populous nations in Africa, as well as one of the diplomatic hub of Africa. So in this regard, Ethiopia has leading role in peace, in regional peace, conflict resolution, as well as regional integration through infrastructure like as energy and so on. So it is very important for Ethiopia and also for other African nations. When we see, for example, Ethiopia as one of BRICS members, and Ethiopia has always tried to hear African voice and African interest in different platforms, in different arena across the globe. So it's very important. One issue I wanted to address is that this visit is more focused on technology and innovation. As Gatenet mentioned, Ethiopia has been taken more bold initiative like us in transforming AI as well as startups and so on. So in this regard, Ethiopia has tried to become the hub of such tech in near future. So Africans cannot left as AI is emerging, and maybe African can benefit from such emerging, as Ethiopia has played a crucial role in this regard. When we take before, Ethiopia's focus on diplomacy, but now Ethiopia has changed, shifting this approach from traditional to, like as what I mentioned, in technology as well as innovation, as well like as AI transformation, which is very important for Africa. Take, for example, when our Prime Minister has many times said in a various level, like a debt restructuring, which is affecting African countries. So one of the discussion points within Macron is this one. So it's a great implication for Africa, as Ethiopia has been undertaking various bold initiatives, which is very important for Ethiopians and also for other African countries and beyond. Thank you.
Maybe to add something, especially what my colleague Girma reminded me, about regional integration, which is, the African Union has an ambition to create regional integration, and Africa should come together to protect its interests. In recent time, Ethiopia has been already completing the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which is anticipated to electrify the East African region and connect the region through power. Because power is a very important thing, electric power. Because the East African region, especially many of our neighboring countries, are suffering from a shortage of power. So Ethiopia has already started connecting the region, for instance, selling electric power to some of the regional countries. So the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will create a great impact, accelerate not regional integration for only the neighboring country, but to achieve the African Union mission and ambition to create a united African continent. So the country is by far creating a great opportunity that would attract many countries' interest and also investors, companies, because its effort for regional integration would attract marketers and create a big market opportunity for external foreign countries and companies to explore that market, like BRICS and European countries themselves. So that's the reason why Ethiopia, the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's visit had a lot of implication, not only for Ethiopia, but in the broad perspective for the African continent and the region, particularly in the Horn of Africa.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's visit to France and Italy highlights Ethiopia's growing role on the global stage, not just in the politics, but also in technology, economic cooperation, culture, and peace. Thank you, Getnet and Girma, for your insight, and thank you very much, our viewers.